All right, we have our practice update for the day. Obviously, some of the big news is that the San Francisco 49ers traded for Keion White, who's wearing number 56. You also have Clelin Ferrell back out on the practice field. From everything that we've seen, there isn't really any practice videos of Keion White. It sounds like they're kind of bringing him on slowly. So we'll see if anything comes out visually from practice. But we saw some reps of Clelin Ferrell. I think he's just going to pick right back up where he left off. So I think, again, that was a really solid pickup, and it makes a lot of sense. But let's talk about some of the practice updates. Obviously, one of the things that we are going to be monitoring is Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. Mac Jones was not on any type of designation, so he was a full participant today. He did pop up being day to day with a knee on Monday, but not limited today at all. So Mac Jones is full participant. Brock Purdy is limited today. So again, he's been limited for like 3 weeks in a row now, and he's practiced every time. But I think what we're really, really looking for is for him to turn in a full participation. And I think when we see that full participation, that will at least be a much larger glimmer of hope of Brock Purdy potentially returning. But again, the toe is very, very iffy. Kyle Shanahan kind of talked about this today at the press conference, kind of mentioning, Brock was good, and then boom, one play into, I think he even said like one play in to the Jaguars game, and he re-aggravated. Obviously, Brock played that whole game, and you could see the effects of the re-aggravation because it affected his accuracy. It affected how he was throwing the football pretty dramatically. Um, but anyways, we'll see what Brock Purdy looks like if he is upgraded to a full participant. Kyle Shanahan did say that he will get more reps. He didn't really divulge much further on that, but almost like an indication he'll get mixed in more with the first team opposed to previous practices. So I would say that seems like a strong, not an indication, but a positive, I guess you will, of things trending in the right direction. But we're still in the wait and see period with that. And I would say that the most disappointing for me is the fact that Ricky Pearsall is still not practicing. If he's not practicing today in a limited fashion, it doesn't rule him out completely, obviously. But I'm not going to bet that Ricky's gonna play today. I could be wrong on that, or not today, this Sunday. I could be wrong. Maybe he shows up tomorrow with a limited and then goes full Friday. I don't know. But the fact that he's not available on a Wednesday practice after he's been out as much time as he's missed kind of sucks. So we'll see. But kind of staying in the wide receiver room, as we know, Brandon Ayuk, his practice window wasn't open this week. So he's not going to return, or at least even to the practice field. The interesting thing that's kind of been popping up and being discussed is that Jauan Jennings has been thrown around as a potential trade target. We know he requested a trade this offseason. He turned down a contract from the San Francisco 49ers. And Kyle Shanahan said today he would be surprised if Jauan Jennings isn't on the team for the remainder of the year. And I think some people might hear that statement and be like, oh, look, see, Jauan Jennings isn't going anywhere. But, being surprised isn't an answer in regards to is Jauan Jennings going to be traded or not going to be traded. Saying that you would be surprised if he isn't on the team for the remainder year doesn't mean that he's not being shopped, doesn't mean that he couldn't potentially be traded. I could be surprised that Jauan Jennings gets traded too, but the on the inverse is like, if let's say Jauan does get traded, Kyle Shanahan could say, we didn't have any expectations of Jauan getting traded. I was surprised that a deal came through that made sense for both parties. We pulled the trigger, and we wish Jauan nothing but the best. He's been a phenomenal piece of this locker room, but it made sense for all parties, and so we decided to make that decision for our football team. Like saying that you'd be surprised if he is or is not on the team effectively doesn't mean anything. So as we dissect coaching speak when it comes to roster transactions, that's a whole nothing burger. So would Shanahan be surprised if Jauan isn't here? Probably, but that doesn't mean that they're not looking, they're not calling. So we'll see. For what it's worth, Jauan Jennings' Instagram is deactivated. I have no idea when that occurred or what have you, but it's deactivated. So take that for what it's worth. Um, so yeah, so we'll see. I do think Jauan Jennings would be a good piece to trade away. The 49ers are clearly not signing him in the offseason. Um, I don't know if he's going to get a big time contract in the offseason, so he might not really trigger a great comp pick in return. So maybe try to get something for him. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yeah, so Alfred Collins didn't practice today. No Yetur Gross Matos. No Bryce Huff. No Jake Brendel. So we'll see I don't expect any of those guys to play other than Alfred Collins, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on with Big Alfred and if he'll be out there. So, yeah, 49ers got two new defensive ends. From everything we've heard, they're still kind of poking around the market to see who is available, who's not available. From everything that we've heard, I've heard from multiple places that the 49ers are very interested in Trey Hendrickson, but it sounds like the Bengals are really not interested in trading him, which again is just a weird concept. Considering they didn't pay him a multi-year deal this year, he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. He's actually been banged up. I think he has a hip injury. He's had a back injury, so kind of would make me believe that he would want to, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Anyways, that's today's practice report. So I was hoping for a little bit more optimism today from guys like Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall. Although there is a little bit more optimism in regards to what Brock Purdy is doing, it doesn't sound like a whole lot has changed for Ricky Pearsall. So we'll see how that whole situation continues to proceed and move forward. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.